Hey guys, Kyle, the Death Knight of Anime here, bringing you my review for My Hero Academia, Chapter 209. And pretty much even before we get into the chapter itself, the final page, it didn't really have the same notification as the One Piece chapter that it was going on break. So I imagine we're getting at least one more chapter next week. I imagine we're getting another chapter next week, even before it goes on break for the rest of the month or year or whatnot, which I'm okay with. And it's one of those things where I kind of had a feeling already that I already kind of had a feeling already that would be the case, because I think each manga it is gonna each manga in Shonen Jump is gonna have a bit of a different stopping point, a different it would be yearly stopping point each year. So yeah, I think it kind of changes a bit for each manga each time. So yeah, I can kind of understand why this one might be going a little longer if it does. Or maybe Shonen Jump just decided to just kind of put that on one. But no, I think My Hero Academia is going a little longer because it with the One Piece one, it's strictly it's a, that strictly One Piece is going on break for the rest of the year. So yeah, so My Hero we're gonna still My Hero Academia, I guess. Which again I'm okay with, and each manga is gonna have a different yearly stopping point. Now, getting into the chapter itself, I like how it doesn't even waste any time with enforcing even more on how much of an impressive victory that Bakugo and his team pulled off by clocking in at 5 minutes. And unless I'm mistaken, that is basically a new record, pretty much compared to the others who've done this exercise. Like between Class A and Class B, I think they've taken a much longer time. So yeah, Bakugo has put in like has put in the most amount of work, and he finished quicker than most. So which I guess yeah is kind of is like yeah important, because which in its way does kind of reinforce that yeah he's the main character. But I think it works here too, just from how much Bakugo has learned. So yeah, um, and and this is and with this 5 minute thing, this is also stacking the odds even more against Izuku than even needed. Because the biggest thing to note about the next exercise going forward, is that things is that the way Horikoshi has played it out. Like if you notice in one chapter when we see when we see the snake. When we see it was Tokage just kind of slumpingly walking, she basically had a thought bubble where it displayed the wins and losses of each team, and of course the draw. And as of right now, like Class A and Class B are at a dead heat. So this next one is gonna be the tiebreaker. But between that and the fact of needing to do better than Bakugo is kind of putting a lot of pressure on him right now. And also, if you notice, there was actually a panel of Shinzo who was staring at Izuku and All Might. And the thing about that particular panel is that, well, it could just be he's focusing in on Izuku and beating him, like definitely being better than him, compared to the definitely returning the favor and doing better than him, in order is a returning favor for what happened at the sports festival. Um, I don't think we can really rule out either that he's starting to grow curious as well. Like if every time I know there are a lot of people so far who have given Izuku those looks, but at the same time it is a growing. I think it is kind of Horikoshi's way of showing that yeah that there are gonna that there are that in this world where All Might can't be a hero anymore, that there are going to be people out that there are going to be people and students who are going to grow a little bit more curious about what Izuku's relationship with All Might actually is. So I do like how he is adding just subtle little touches like that in order to build it up almost. Um, and one thing I do like about this chapter is that Horikoshi does appear to be going on a bit of an opposite direction than what I expected him to do with Monoma, in the sense where, so far from what we saw of Monoma in this chapter, he does appear to be Monoma appears to be willing to work with Shinzo and listening to his plan, compared to like how I thought that the Monoma would be a lot more difficult to work with. But at the same time, I'm not ruling out that Monoma is might still to a certain degree be just a little tough to deal with, just because of the whole thing that when it comes to the heat of battle, just emotions can run high, and plans aren't always going to work. Like there are things that you just can't account for in battle. So even though they're planning this out, I'm sure there's some things that are going to go wrong, and it'll just contribute even more to whatever kind of development the Horikoshi has planned for Monoma for sure. So yeah, so we'll have to wait and see what goes on next, what's going to happen next chapter. Also, this chapter actually made me. Also, I'm not gonna lie. This chapter actually made me wonder if we really are gonna see Monoma copy Izuku's quirk. I mean, like I said, the plan he and Shinzo were kind of coming up with does kind of indicate it's going to happen, but the way we see Monoma, just thinking back to pretty much to everything that Izuku is doing in the sports festival, he seems. I think Monoma he definitely seems uncertain about even attempting to pretty much copy Izuku's quirk. Like he basically knows. So he basically knows that Izuku's quirk is probably a little. In terms of copying and using Izuku's ability, he at least knows that there's a little uncertainty with that, because it's one for all itself is just too much of a powerful quirk. So yeah, and overall, yeah, I just really like how this chapter does feel like we're getting at we're at a starting point now for any kind of development that Monoma is gonna have from this point on. When Ochiko, Ashido, and Mineta were naming off how they basically use their powers in this exercise, all I could think was, I think you guys are pretty much screwed. Although, on a much more serious note, I am hoping this exercise actually does provide some good development for if nothing else, I want some good development for pretty much Mineta, because out of everyone in Class 1A, he needs it the most. Because when I look back at any kind of development that Mineta has had, even and it doesn't matter how small it is. The last time I think we got anything resembling character development for Mineta was in the end of term exam arc, where he's paired up with it was where he was paired up with. It was basically Seto when he was paired up with Seto. Yeah, in the end of term exam arc. So, yeah, I think Mineta, of all people in that group, is definitely in need of some good development. And I mean, I guess the more I think about it, the more it would be nice to get some development for basically Ashido as well, because I think I guess some development for Ashido would be nice. Ashido would be nice as well, because I think the only kind of development we really got with her was basically, at least as of late, from what I can think of, was from Kirishima's flashback in the internship arc. And yeah, overall, I'm just curious of what kind of new powers that Ashido has as well. So yeah, if we get of all the people I want to see develop in this exercise, is Ashido and Mineta. Like I'm sure that Ochiko is gonna develop as well, and Izuku, but Ashido and Mineta, I think, are the ones that definitely need it the most, because Ochiko I think has developed enough where we can definitely get invested in her. But I think for those who still aren't like invested in her, I think there is going to be some development for her as well. And Horikoshi, you freaking dick tease with that ending. Like, god damn it, man. And like, okay, so getting into the basics of what that ending means. With All For One being able to hear his brother's voice, it actually makes sense on a base level, since One For All quirk originated from his own, but getting into the specifics, the only thing that comes to mind right now is that is that those who inherit One for All develop some kind of a telepathic link with All for One, and the stronger that the holder of the quirk pretty much makes the quirk itself, the stronger the connection between them and All for One grows. But I can't say for sure because All Might, being the doofus that he is, pretty much silenced the phone call from Gran Torino. Yeah, the one man who could possibly give us an answer had his phone call ignored or silenced or whatnot. Like, yeah, I really facepalmed at that, but it is Horikoshi's way of building up suspense, so I understand. I just hope that we don't have to wait too much longer after this arc, because the sequence of events between Gran Torino's phone call and All for One's little outburst, if you can even call it that, in prison, definitely proves that pretty much Torino is pretty much definitely knows something about this connection that All for One mentioned. So yeah, I think whatever answers we're looking for in terms of this, it's all, at least a good chunk of them are going to be answered, but are going to be answered pretty much by are going to be answered by pretty much Gran Torino, I think. But yeah. Also, seriously, could Horikoshi get any more blamed with the foreshadowing at this point? Because that one line from the head guard already kind of confirms that All for One is going to get out at some point. It's just a matter of when. And you know what? I'm sorry. I'm going to go on a bit more of a rant here. Are you telling me that you guys haven't picked out a sentence and punishment for him yet? Are you kidding me right now with that? What the hell? He's the strongest goddamn villain in this story, and you don't know what to do. Like, okay, to a certain degree, I understand only because of how powerful he is. But you'd think that would kind of expedite the whole thing of like his execution or whatnot, or whatever the hell you guys are gonna do with him. Because yeah, the more powerful the villain, I think the more expedient you should try to get a ruling on him or something like that. Like, boy, you know what? I'm not gonna go any further than that. Let's just say that them not picking out just something immediate was dumb in my eyes. But yeah, so but yeah, guys, that's all I got for this review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Crunchyroll. Death Knight of Enemy, signing off. Later, guys.